I would like to invite Dr. Mugisha Bruce from MAIF for the second presentation that is going to be on agro-industrialization, looking at the status and implications of AEAS.
The PS Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries in absentia, heads of departments, academia, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you. Some bit of a clarification. I'm not a doctor, but probably I will aspire to move there. Maybe it's a prophecy that is going to happen. Mugisha Bruce is my name once again, Senior Program Officer to the Ministry of Agriculture. And before I indulge into my presentation, maybe I want to get something from the previous speaker. I don't know if I will be Anne or if I will be Grace. The real world is a little bit different from the academia and the pressures of responsibilities. So I'm just somewhere hanging in there, though I would wish to go there, but it's an interesting one. On agro-industrialization, if I can give a little background of where we are coming from, the economy of Uganda is an agri-led economy, and agriculture remains the backbone for our economic growth. In the last financial year, 24-25, agriculture grew by 6.8%. From previous 5.6, which shows that there has been an effort to boost production. Which is attributed to a number of interventions by the government. The contribution to total GDP is 26.3, though it keeps on shifting, but it ranges between 26.1 to 26.5 for the financial year 2024-2025. Approximate employment is about 70%, either directly in production, indirectly in transportation, processing, and trade. The value of our exports that for the financial year 2024-2025 was approximately 23 trillion, 42% contribution, but in nominal values, around 23 trillion. And the performance was attributed to the increased volumes, most especially in coffee, dairy, fish, and maize. Agro-industrialization as a program is spearheaded by MAIF, which plays the primary role, but we have other stakeholders. When I talk of MAIF, we look at MAIF in a broader perspective of MAIF and its agencies, while we have other ministries like the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. We have the Ministry of Local Government. We have other agencies, the Export Promotion Board, which has been integrated with the Free Zones Authority to form the UFZEPA. Okay. We have the Ministry of Water and Environment as well. Then Agro-industrialization was invented as a tool to spearhead economic development. If I can take us to the origin is from the origin is from the National Development Plan 4, which was envisioned from our Vision 2040, and which as well speaks to the NRA manifesto. But the goal of NDP4 is to achieve higher household incomes and employment for sustainable economic development, with a strategic objective of increasing production and productivity, value addition in agriculture, tourism, minerals, oil and gas. If we can shorten it, it is abbreviated as the ATMS, which is agriculture, tourism, mineral, and technology, innovation and services as the ATMS. Then through that, they have bred the agro-industrialization program, whose goal is to increase value addition of mostly agricultural products. This program mainly focused on developing and operationalizing value addition infrastructure and strengthening harvest and post-harvest handling initiatives. We usually have a big challenge of post-harvest losses. You find that most of the harvest that we get from the garden, before it reaches the market, we've lost almost 42%. So to have a shift in what comes to the market, then we must first address the issue at harvest level and post-harvest handling. The second area also looks at enhancing production and competitiveness of agricultural products for domestic, regional, and international markets. Between you and I, we know that we've had scenarios where our products have been rejected on the regional and international markets because of a few issues of one was salmonella, and another one was an issue of aflatoxins, mostly by our neighbors here in Kenya, and we also had the issue of eggs. But while they are planning, the government looks at such scenarios and it must come in and address such. Also, another area of emphasis will be strategizing, strengthening specialized extension services, which speaks to the agenda of today. Next is strengthening the adoption and integration of science, technology, and innovation in agriculture, as well as strengthening farmers' field schools and cooperatives, de-risking the agro-industry, while eliminating counterfeits and low-quality agro-inputs which affect production so much, as well as strengthening and coordinating legal and institutional framework for the agro-industry. Next. This is the birth of the program agro-industrialization. We have the Vision 2040, which was spearheaded by the Fountain of Honor. Then the technical officers sat down and developed the tenfold growth strategy. All these are documents that you can access, read and get the details. The growth strategy, the tenfold growth strategy, gave birth to the NDP4. Then under NDP4, Chapter 6, we have the agro-industrialization program, which focuses on increasing manufacturing and processing for agricultural products. Then Maif was chosen to be the primary leader to spearhead the program, and Maif also went ahead and developed the strategic plan 2025, 2026, 2029, 2031. Is also, the document is available on the Maif website. And Maif as an institution cannot implement these strategies alone. After developing the strategic plan has interventions that are cascaded down to the existing district local governments, where much of the extension work is done. The key issues that the strategic plan under the ministry that will be addressed under agro-industrialization will be low production and productivity, failure to produce for market demand, failure to comply with international standards on sanitary and phytosanitary, low mechanization, low access to food and feed quality, improper pre- and post-harvest handling, limited value addition, weak farm organizations, limited access to appropriate credit and insurance, because you find a large portion of the households, they are still stuck in the subsistence economy. Then we also have an issue of policy inconsistencies that limit the development of the value chains. Now, these are the strategic objectives. Quickly, I will indulge into how these strategic objectives relate to how these objectives relate to extension. Next. While we strengthen the agriculture extension system to increase the uptake of fertilizer use and adoption, the new technologies must be adopted through the single spine extension system. I'm so aware that the commissioner in charge of extension talked about it in detail yesterday, to deliver knowledge to the farmers. While there is research at the institutes and other areas, it must be delivered to the farmers through the extension. This will talk to production, multiplication, and distribution of quality seeds and input. It will strengthen the fight against pest vector management and control, because the farmers are already equipped with the knowledge. It will as well improve on our standards so that we have more compliant products in inspection and certification. It will also reduce post-harvest losses through management of post-harvest handling and management. And the government is committed to investing in this much, because a number of interventions have been taken, including training of 30,000 coffee farmers across the country. An approximate of about 600 coffee farmers were supported with micro-scale irrigation equipment. And under the same objective, you find we have much of the emerging high value crops, including macadamia, avocado, cashew nuts, and apples. So the extension will have to interest more in these areas where the government has already distributed much of the inputs in form of seedlings to 53 district local governments, 88 district local governments for avocado, and 40 district local governments for cashew nuts. So there is much to do with the extension for if the government is to realize the goal of agro-industrialization under objective one of sustainable increase in production and productivity. The second strategic objective talks about improving harvesting, post-harvest handling, and storage. Through the same extension system, no, we must be having representatives from the districts. The extension service providers must work with the farmers and other stakeholders to ensure compliance to standards, that is of harvesting, post-harvest handling, and storage. This is done more in capacity building, though the challenge we have is that most people don't realize the effect of extension because it is more of soft work. It is more of mindset change. It is more of capacity building. And people out there tend to look out for things that are physical. And it becomes hard to measure how much the farmer has taken in terms of getting knowledge to do with harvesting, post-harvest handling, and the capacity of the stakeholders and farmers has to be built so that harvesting is done appropriately at the right time, post-harvest handling, and they take up storage technologies. A number of interventions or hard physical facilities have been delivered. If there is someone who comes from Kasese under the Agri-led Rwenzori Development Program, Kasese was given 2 storage facilities, one in Chegegwa and as well as 2 in Chitagunda. Over 1,500 farmer groups have been trained there. So for the agenda for the agro-industrialization to realize its agenda, extension services must be strengthened. We go to the next. And in relation to that, the government is committed to investing in extension because there has been a number of grants and the budget has been allocated to extension as well, of up to, under a production and marketing grant that goes to the district, the last financial year, up to 100 billion was released. Under the agriculture extension grant, over 120 billion was released. Under the micro-scale irrigation project, over 36.1 billion was released. And there is also currently the PDM, where each household gets 1 million. And over 70 billion has been released through the micro-scale irrigation project. So the government is committed to boosting extension, build capacity, provide physical technologies that support the processes. And objective 3 for developing and operationalizing optimized agro-processing and value addition infrastructure, The strategic intervention is to build the capacity of the farmers and make use of the existing agro-processing facilities. There are a number of agro-processing facilities that have been given out. One under ACDP project, then the APM, agricultural processing machineries. There is more to be given out under the Climate Smart project, and also through any other interventions like OWC, where it has given out to fruit processing machines in Yumbe. There is the Kapeka multi-fruit processing facility that is yet to be commissioned. There is the Sorot fruit factory. So the government is committed to build the capacity of the farmers to make the use of the existing agro-processing facilities and add value to the products by provision of the infrastructure and as well as compliance to the prerequisite standards. Also, as extension service providers, we are supposed to work with the private sector and guide the private sector and other stakeholders as well to invest in appropriate agro-processing and value addition technologies. This works hand in hand with some of the guidelines that were released in the extension guide in 2016 and the extension policy. Strategic objective 4 talks about deepening and increasing market access so that we can be competitive. The agricultural products must be competitive in domestic, regional, and international markets. The extension system must work closely with the farmers and other stakeholders, including UCA, the Grain Council of Uganda, the East African Grain Council, so that we are compliant with the standard requirements in the national, regional, and international markets, because we have a lot of issues to do with the presence of aflatoxins. So it is the role of the extension system to make sure that our farmers are compliant and their capacity has been built. Strategic objective 5 talks about increasing access to agricultural finance and insurance. The extension workers must work closely with the financial institutions and other stakeholders to promote affordable and appropriate agricultural financing mechanisms, as well as scaling up insurance. There have been interventions that are meant to boost agriculture insurance under the Uganda Agriculture Insurance Scheme. MAIF is working closely with the Ministry of Finance to release the agriculture financing and insurance policy, which has been presented to Cabinet. We have the Insurance Regulatory Authority. We have people who have come in to de-risk production at that level, which is more risky because it is so much rain-fed. There is arbitrust. So there is a need to combine efforts so that we can have a combined fight if we are to realize the objectives of the agro-industrialization program. Strategic objective 6, we must strengthen coordination, legal, and institutional framework for the agro-industry. That is through improving administrative infrastructure and human resource. We must recruit more extension workers and have some programs that are directed towards retooling the extension system. We must strengthen planning, coordination, and monitoring, as well as evaluation. We must promote and popularize the agriculture and insurance financing-related policies and schemes. As I wind up, The next steps, we are all aware that we are short in extension. We must prioritize recruitment and filling the over 3,000 plus gaps in the district local governments for the extension workers. And as the world changes, we must go digital. We integrate e-voucher and digital systems as extension tools to improve transparency and the outreach to the farmers. Then we must enhance monitoring of the money that is invested in extension at the district local governments, including the production and marketing grant, extension grant, PDM grant, microscale, so that activities are included specifically to monitor and evaluate the performance of such programs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mugisha. We will also field 2 questions from the audience for you in case there's some clarification. Oh, there's a very quick hand that just shot up. If you could have a seat. And I'm practicing speaking deliberately and slower. So I will expect a scorecard later. Joshua, you're there? A second hand is down that way as well. 2, sorry. The first hand was right, over there. And then the second hand, there. Do you have a mic?
Okay. Professor Kant Kanyarsoke, are my names. Thank you very much, Mr. Mugisha, doctor to aspiring to become a doctor. I have written actually on this thing, on almost a similar paper on this thing. Solar agro industry, me I'm a solar man, okay, from Mountains of the Moon University. The main point of departure, number 1, the main points of departure from what has been said here is this business of being happy about agriculture being the backbone of the economy. I think we have a problem with that. 70% of the population are into agriculture, okay? And they are producing a mere 26%. So there is an issue of productivity. The only way we can handle that is through, of course, agro-industrialization. I write almost a similar paper on that, which I'll be presenting later today. I invite people to do that, and we can exchange. I would love to have your paper. I would like you also to have my paper, and you look at something. Then the other thing is this post-harvest. You see, over here at Mountains of the Moon University, we are making a number of things. For example, we have silos. We are the only ones in the country, okay, who can do locally manufacture silos in the range from, say, 500 kilograms all the way up to 60 tons at reasonable price. And for example, if a farmer somewhere in Kienjojo wanted a silo, he went to China, they asked for something like 1 billion shillings. He came back to us, we sold him a silo suitable for his size at 60 million. Do you see what? So we have, there are issues, but we need to know what's happening in the country. We need to know the private people who are doing this. Cold rooms, okay? We are making cold rooms. We have just invented something here, okay, which runs on solar energy, both day and night. This business of that, it's night time. So there is no what? There is no solar. That doesn't exist. We are able to use solar energy even at night. So we have systems here, we have models here, which I invite you to come and have a look at. Let me stop there.
Thank you very much. That sounded like a pitch as well.
Yes. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. And I want to continue thanking OFAS for bringing us together through such a wonderful platform. I want to take us back to the alignment. Oh, my name is Andrew Oboth Wakera. I work for World Vision as an economic empowerment specialist. I sit in Nakasero. I don't know who's flashing. I wanted to take us back to the presentation on the alignment. My question is actually around there. Mr. Mugisha may not have the answer, but it's just to help us and dig more. Yeah. When he was presenting around the interventions, I saw the ministry focusing more on the district local government. My concern is we have a lot of international and national NGOs and private sectors. In these frameworks here, all our interventions, we try to align to these frameworks to achieve the Vision 2040. Do you acknowledge, do you map out all these NGOs and see, out of these interventions you have designed, beautiful interventions, which I acknowledge, do you have that guideline that you are able to share with the different players, for example, at district level, where different actors can actually pick and complement these efforts at that level? Because from yesterday, from day one of this discussion, people will tell you we have few extension workers. We have limited resources. And yet, if you listen to people here, we have very many qualified people who are absorbed in different NGOs. Can we leverage on these particular opportunities that we have and align, and we make sure that these interventions that contribute to the achievement of Vision 2040, NDP4, and all those strategic objectives are shared by different players, so that even when they are presenting or writing proposal, they can actually accommodate this and contribute to these efforts than duplicating. Because if you leave it there, myself, I do a lot of proposal writing.
Andrew?
Yes, just summarizing.
Yes.
You realize that I may continue to plan for something that ministry has already allocated budget. So we need to really be open on that and share this information and acknowledge the contribution of these players at that level. Thank you.
Andrew and Dr. Kant have ensured that I will specifically only take 2 questions. So, Mr. Mugisha, please respond to those 2, and then we'll move on to the next part of the day.
I wish to thank Professor. He has raised pertinent issues. One thing I didn't hint on is that the government is currently working with the New Holland, which are tractor manufacturers. And the first phase of tractor assembling is already underway in the industrial area, Nakawa. There is also a planned phase 2 in Namalele, which I think will boost production and productivity, because there is a lot of drudgery with the primary cultivation. So if they are offering the services in the assembling of storage equipments, I think this is the good feedback that I would need to interest my supervisors in. And I think there is a gentleman, Dr. Patience. He can liaise best with the Mountains of the Moon and the ministry, so that they can have a boost in this program. Then Andrew hinted on, I think the main question was, how can the private sector work with the public under the single spine extension system so that they can supplement extension service delivery. There are guidelines for their materials even at the district level. Why the government works through the existing structures, we must monitor what goes to people and we must see what the people are consuming. So if you work closely with the district local governments, even the ministry itself, you can come, we can have an MOU so that we monitor what you're doing and what you're delivering to the farmers. But you must take note that the consumers of your extension material also must be protected. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bruce. A round of applause.
A central role in enhancing our agricultural activity. We face significant limitations, including challenges in reaching geographically dispersed farming communities. So, all these constraints have prompted private sector players, NGOs, and farm organizations, and they leverage innovative delivery mechanisms. The keyword is they incorporate market systems, they incorporate sustainable financing mechanisms to improve reach, relevance, and over-enabled advisory services, information systems, fee-for-service, and bundled service delivery models. If you are market needs, while supporting farmers' productivity and resilience. So today we petition so that we share evidence. Correct. We also have a presentation that transforms the life. Allow me to recognize one face and
How much we are working with, and also manage all the projects, centers of excellence, where we are able to report in real time. We have the green growth strategy, which focuses on the environment. The localized farmers there, or the localized community, are able to learn, but also in the same model that we are working on, where what we call the SBB program, and those, just to have a glimpse of how the database looks like on the dashboard. This is what. This is a bit of the model, actually, how it works on the ground. We have the phosphate farm, which is our main center of excellence. And then to understand where we start from. All approaches of our value chain we are trying to promote starts from the market approach. We're selling our produce, vegetables, and everything, delivering directly to the consumers, but also participating in active consumer markets. Then we have empowering at our demonstration site. Just to demonstration site is such as supporting, but also working with other partners. Sydney, which I will share about as a business case. Those who get the chance to visit will see that. When you talk about what I always want to mention about this, we see a problem that many farms are starting, and just after 2 years of production, also many farms are closing. They are not trying to sustain. What we do a lot on our farm is to break down different product lines.
So we give them model, which is the agriculture agroecological zones. There are 9 of them. One of them, for example, where we are here is the Lake Victoria Crescent. Another is northern Uganda, Uvira, Uganda, where it covers those areas. The key one is the farm. Then followed by the extension stuff. To ensure that first, when now generates a technology to send to the extension stuff, we included in the private sector. When I say private sector, it's financial that's where we have agriculture scientists. Geographical seed, access to good seed.
And then you have farmers around you, and then others that offer panels that especially all next slide. So these are here with us. We did in the comparison and information platform. So what are some of the findings? We noticed that the digital tools increase access to and then input, quality input. And then it reduces transport costs. And for those who cannot move, they are able to just make a phone to them. And where you access the services in time. What we noticed that there was a hesitation to the digital tools, especially when it came for an off-taker to take goods from his hesitant that this person will know how we need to transform our agriculture in Africa. We need to not only the access to increase the digital literacy of the farmers. There is need to also leverage on some of the digital apps are accomplished. You can just record your voice and send your prompt. So we found that having this.
First, we needed to invest our time in looking for more resources because we used to meet farmers. Now we remain chatting with farmers on WhatsApp, but we used to meet farmers.
Reporting for National Climate Smart Agriculture. Especially, we'll have multiple initiatives, but this is the one I'm going to introduce to you.
Know how to introduce combine that out. So as everybody else knows this, but you'll be surprised at how many think of AI as we have to do a computer process as AI support. Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
Diana Simena, and I work with an organization called Uganda.